In every member's journey, there is a support system behind them every step of the way. Our agricultural educators and school administrators have provided unwavering support and dedicated their lives to the betterment of their students. At this time, we would like to recognize those individuals who have supported us through the highs, the lows, and the failures that became lessons.
To my agricultural educator, Mrs. Deborah Burden.
And to our high school principal, Mr. Brent Gary, and our school superintendent, Dr. Susan Hayward.
To my agricultural educators, Mr. Jared Dickin and Mr. Andrew DeLong, former high school principal, Mr. Bryce Frazier, superintendent, Mr. Monty Bainter, and mentor, Mrs. Jessica Dickin.
To my FFA teacher, Mr. Jeff Tilley and Mr. Scott Sharp. To my high school principal, Mr. Scott Hinton. To my high school superintendent, Mr. J.B. Dick. And my high school guidance counselor, Mrs. Nicole Allen.
To my agriculture educator, Miss Lori Hyvee, my school superintendent, Mr. Ben Winans, and to my high school principal, Mr. Mike Myers.
To my advisor, Mrs. Betsy Martin, my principal, Mr. Todd Kazarek, and my counselor, Mrs. Heather Keating.
To my ag advisors, Mr. Mike Deringer and Mrs. Carrie Roberts, and to my principal, Tom York.
To my agricultural educator, Mrs. Allison Deringer, Twin Valley South School Superintendent, Mr. Scott Cottingham, and Miami Valley CTC Satellite Supervisor, Mrs. Teresa Lingenfelter.
To my ag teacher, Mrs. Anna Cresswell, my environmental science teacher, Mr. Justin Richardson, my vice principal, Mrs. Karina Waggy, and my superintendent, Mrs. Lori Vent.
To my FFA advisor, Mr. Derek Riggs and Miss Elise Schaefer, to my guidance counselor, Mr. Nick Banyan, to my principal, Mr. PJ Bernamus, and to the district superintendent, Mr. David Shea.
To my agriculture educator, Miss Stephanie Plumley, school superintendent, Mr. Bill Cedar, and high school principal, Mr. Scott Will.
Thanks so much.
Thank you.
Thanks a bunch.
Thanks so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Thank you very much.
Thanks to you all.
Thanks.
Again, thank you.
We are all forever grateful for the influences that these people have had on our lives, but our appreciation does not stop here. On behalf of the 2019-2020 Ohio FFA State Officer Team, thank you to all agricultural educators and school administrators. Your dedication to success in the lives of your students does not go unnoticed. Thank you for all that you've done and all that you will continue to do in the future.